I'm going to be reading my memoir, A Heart to Heart. I don't want to marry, my cousin, whose pronouns are they/them, said. We were driving home after a day of shopping before the topic of marriage somehow came up. It led into a heated debate about all the whys and wheres and whats of marriage. My opinion led to my cousin Ray spouting their own stance on the subject. No one seemed to like her thoughts on it. They even seemed worried. I looked outside my window to watch the withering trees as they passed by in a moment of irritation. Their father glared at them but schooled his expression into a calm and firm one before proceeding to talk. So his parents can let her do whatever she wants, but I decide what you'll do. You are getting married. Ray tried to protest but was shut down immediately. Everyone else decided to stay silent the rest of the car ride, letting their father go off on a tangent in his own little bubble as he continued to mumble under his breath. It didn't stop until we got home, the tension from then plaguing the air. A few months later, the conversation from a few months ago had popped into my mind a week ago, and stubbornly stayed from then. I could no longer rest still without talking about it, so I willed myself to ask my mother about it the next day. We can talk about it later today, she said while chopping up some vegetables for the curry. When the sun had started to set, the pink and orange colors of the sky blending together as proof, and the sky was turning into a pitch-black curtain, I had decided to go into the kitchen to grab a cup of water. I found my mother sitting at the table, and I immediately knew it was the time to talk to her. I could tell that she was about to call me by looking at her expression, nose twitching and a wrinkled forehead. I walked to the nearest chair and pulled it out to sit, cringing as the legs of the chair made an obnoxious screeching noise, like nails on a chalkboard. My mother stopped scrolling on her phone to look at me. "All right, talk to me." She looked curious but also reserved while sitting there. I unconsciously started to tap my foot against the floor, nervous to talk about what was bothering me. Well, I wanted to talk about why you wanted me to get married so much. My voice came out a bit weak, but I managed to form my words. She looked baffled at my concern and then went deep in thought for a bit. I used to because it seemed natural to me. Why wouldn't you get married? Don't you need someone to support you? My lips twitched a bit before she continued. But I think it should be your choice, and I know you're strong enough to be on your own, so I'm starting to believe that you should only marry once you want to. I grinned at that, my face brightening, and hugged her with a loud and happy shout. Thank you. She looked surprised at first, her eyes wide and mouth slightly open, but her lips twitched up into a small smile, her arms wrapping around me. The moonlight that peeked through the window shined prettily on her, and I don't think I've ever thought that she was so beautiful. That's the end.